Ta-da! Hey, hey. So I got distracted by a text about my old Boston rock and roll history. So that's why I'm coming here. So, I don't know. Kind of wonky looking. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm getting distracted. The windows are open. There are sounds from outside because the weather is nice. And so, good morning. Hey, hey, people. Hail, hail, rock and roll. You know what? Let me see if I can do this. Maybe this will help. I don't know. So yeah, I noticed that video that I did yesterday when I was walking out of Staples. It was just totally impromptu. And what I realized was like, wow, I look kind of washed out. You know, you throw some crayons on me. I don't look half bad, but I was like, okay, well today I'm going to take a shower, wash my hair, style my hair, and then a text came in and it's all good. So good morning. Hey, good morning, AZ Firefly. Abbott Elementary. Nice to see you. Thank you for letting me know my hair looks great. I have a hair do appointment, not a hair don't, next week because it's getting to be a lot. You know, I guess I could say the excess hair is cluttering up my head because it takes so much more to take care of the stuff. But when you have just the right amount of hair on your head, it's easier to take care of. So yeah, so good morning all. This is kind of an interesting time for me to show up, 11 a.m. Usually I do these TikTok lives kind of early in the morning. I'm an early bird, but I also like to mix it up because this may be the early for you. If it's 11 a.m. Eastern where I am right now, maybe it is, I don't know, -3, 7, 8, the goose drank wine. Maybe it is around 8 a.m. where you are, okay? Arizona Firefly. It's just so funny. So the weather has gotten nice. The weather has gotten nice to when we have we've had whatever you call it. We've had crappy weather last week. Now we have extra nice weather, almost summer-like weather where we are right now. And so the windows are open, and it's a bit of a different season. So there we go. So if we haven't met before, just real quick, it looks like a nice little group of folks. Hi, I'm Beth. I'm a Destination Declutter. Destination Declutter is the name of the game. Decluttering is the game, and I'm a decluttering life coach. So J&J, hey, nice to see you. I show up and do these TikTok lives. The past week, I will say, I'm trying to look at the calendar to see when I started it. I decided to experiment with doing one every day. Good morning, Kendra Irish. And I'm glad, Abbott Elementary, that you're so glad to get a dose of decluttering motivation. Hello, Heather. Nice to see you. And Fishy and Susie and all sorts of folks. So I'm here for the next hour or so until noon o'clock my time and whatever time it is yours in about 56 minutes. I show up just to help you. Now, I help you primarily with your clutter. So if you have kind of what I like to say too much stuff, now that's a judgment. Too much is just an arbitrary number. Too much, not enough, and just right. If you feel like you have too much stuff in your house and you're kind of stuck, you're kind of, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. I don't know how to start. The I don't knows and the overwhelm and the anxiety that it causes, I can help you with that. And here I am. So how that works is, hello Heather, nice to see you, and Wild Faith. It's pretty easy peasy. Now I'm a one-on-one coach that I work on Zoom with one-on-ones, but when I'm working with a group like this, pretty much what we just need to do is you put in the comments kind of where you're stuck clutter-wise. It can be surface clutter, it can be stored clutter, it could be sentimental clutter, one of the 3 layers of clutter. It could be stuff that's yours, stuff that's other people's, stuff that you inherited from somebody else. And maybe you know the feeling of being weighed down with your clutter and you're sick of it. And also perhaps, now this is kind of me to a certain degree because I don't have kids, but I have nieces and nephew, is I'm also then looking at my stuff. I'm looking at the stuff my mother is going to give me when she passes. And I'm also looking kind of down the lane to my nieces and nephews. And I don't want them to be stuck not only with the physical stuff, but the way of thinking and dealing with clutter that I grew up with and that I had. Now, luckily, I have changed the way I think and act and feel about clutter as well as whole other things. So I want to change that dynamic, not just for myself. I start with myself, but changing it for me helps me better help my mother with her clutter. and also breaks that chain of my niece and nephew. Okay, so that's what I do. That's why I'm here for you. And Heather is saying, hello, do you have any suggestions for how to tackle mess left behind and incorporating luggage when returning from a trip? I do, actually, because I do a lot of traveling. Now, that's why I call my coaching Destination Decluttered. You know how you get so excited when you are at a destination, or you're looking forward to going to a destination, a travel destination? You will do things that you normally wouldn't do. You'll get up at 3 a.m. and be on a 6-hour flight. You will invest in luggage that can fit in the overhead bin. You will spend your money. You will find the money to pay for your trip, because you know that destination, you are hoping that destination, when you get there, is going to feel good. And also, it's kind of fun. To me, every time I plan a trip, I have something to look forward to. So I know a lot about that. So the mess left behind and incorporating luggage when returning from a trip. What I'd like to start you with, Heather, is just without judgment, is to examine what you do now. You have a habit of, when you come home from vacation with your luggage, when you return from your trip, you do a certain thing with your luggage. Now, it sounds like it's a mess that needs to be tackled and it's left behind. So just get curious about what you do. And we don't need to go too deep here, but just ask yourself, I want you to get, again, without judgment, but with curiosity, examine what you do. And even with more gentleness and curiosity, just get curious as to why you do it that way. Now, sometimes the answers can be deep and meaningful, and other times you're like, I don't even know why I do that. I just kind of, quote, got in the habit of it. So I recommend you just start something different the next time you come back from a trip. Don't do the same thing you've been doing, because that's what you're trying to break. Now, I have gotten into a habit, and we are lucky enough that our house makes it easier, because while we have a small house, when you come in the back door from the driveway, it goes immediately into what we call the nook. It's this little area that the washer and the dryer and the fridge are in. So we immediately have a habit of stopping and leaving our suitcases there. However, I will say me a little bit more than my husband, I have gotten into a much better habit that part of my routine when I come home from a trip is to get my clothing out of my suitcase. Now, it's baby steps. It may not be I get it out and it's in the washer and the washer is started. If I pull out my packing cubes and I plop them on top of the washing machine, that is a good step. If I get everything out of my suitcase so I can go put it away where it belongs, which for us is down the basement, I feel good about that. Then, if I have the time and the motivation and the energy, because it depends on what time I get home from a vacation, I may then take those dirty clothes and put them in the washing machine, and then take my empty cubes, air them out. Maybe the clothes I didn't wear much, I would then put on top of my bureau. So think about what you do and think of ways you can change it. Find out the parts of what you do that really bug you and say, what could I do differently this time? Okay? I hope that helps. Good morning from Minnesota, says Jessica. I'm in Pennsylvania. Nice to see you. I love it. Sherry Courig says, listening while I clean. Now, Southern Butterflies is saying, do you help with hoarders? Metza, a little bit. What I am most qualified to do, because I am not a licensed mental health professional, I am a certified life coach, and there is a difference. Now, I am very happy to be who I am and what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. But because I am not a licensed mental health professional, this is one of the reasons I have a consultation with my clients prior to us working together. During the discussion on the consultation, it's very laid back, just kind of, I ask you questions, I listen for the answers, you discover where your clothes are, what your clutter stuff is. Then we come to a determination. Are you able to walk through? There are layers of, hoarding is a diagnosis at the DSM-5. So people who are diagnosed with an issue should be working with somebody who's going to give them the best they can. Now, the funny thing is about hoarders, I will say, is that TV show has gotten everybody kind of bandying about that word. So if you are struggling with your mental health and your clutter shows it and your clutter has become a danger to you, I say don't work with me yet. I can help you, but you would be better served getting mental health help. Now, if it's somebody who's just got a wicked lot of stuff and they're not struggling with their mental health, they just have habits and things, then it depends. It's definitely on a case-by-case basis. And this is not just for me. This is for you as a potential client. I don't want you paying money for a result that you may not get from me. I would much rather you find somebody who is most qualified to help you with what you're struggling with. Okay, I hope that helps, asking about hoarders. So Heather is saying, I'm dreading, going home and frozen in packing to head home. I've been gone for 4 months. A problem, I don't have room to stage, put things because my bedroom is a mess and that's my only space. Okay, so it sounds like this isn't just a packing up and going away. This is a broader decluttering situation. All I will offer to you right now is, first of all, everybody, involve your nervous system in what you're doing. If you're feeling anxious and overwhelmed, let's work on that. Once you feel better and you're less overwhelmed and you're less anxious, we can make a plan. But the plan is going to involve you wanting to look at what you do and how you do it and changing it. And if you can change it easily, you will get a habit going. If it's not so easy for you, we take a deeper dive and say, okay, why are you struggling with this? Now that may uncover some layers. And if you are willing to go kind of a layer or two deeper to find out why you're doing the thing you're doing, then you have a better chance of helping things. It's almost like cleaning out an infection. If you just do the surface, it may still be bubbling up and it's going to show up again. Now, I know that's kind of gross. Just think of like a skinned knee with like a Band-Aid on it. But if you go in and you clean it all out and you discover, oh, that's why it keeps on coming up, because it's gross. And it's not because it's, but you know what I mean? You get the gunk out, you clean it away, you keep it clean, and then you heal. Okay? Get curious why you're dreading going home. You don't have to share it with me. What I say, listen to yourself and write down what you hear. One of the two tools in the toolkit for my coaching is literally like a 50-cent notebook from Staples. Whatever comes up, write it down. Then read it and notice what is behind the stuff. Okay? I love it. My Sprinkles of Life is saying good morning from Utah. I love it. Utah. I'm looking at Utah right here, and I'm looking at Minnesota. Yep, I got you on the map. I'm not really good with my geography, so thank you for letting me know that. Using your live as my body double. I love that. Now, for folks who don't know what body doubling is, it's something that we work with in the ADHD world. And basically, it's just kind of somebody there keeping you company, maybe distracting you from your own kind of constantly chattering thoughts, which I call your backseat drivers. And so you feel like it's more easy to do your decluttering. I am all about making things easier because I don't like it when things are difficult. Here, I'm going to speak into this here. Hold on. There we go. I feel much better now that my phone is plugged in. Okay. I can't. Okay. No, but this is something I would get curious about. So Jenny Megan is saying yes to the whole body doubling is, but notice this sentence you just wrote, and notice how that limits you. You said, I can't accomplish anything without body doubling. Now that seems very kind of judgy and declarative and very dramatic. I can't accomplish anything without a body double. I bet you can. I bet there are instances in your life where you can find you did that. Now I bring this up just so you can understand the interplay between the words in your head and the words in your mouth and the words you type and how you feel about not only yourself but about doing something. Okay? So I just want to mention that. And yeah, I can't accomplish anything. Yeah, that's kind of dramatic. I bet there are some things you do. And here's the thing. Now, I don't deny the benefit of body doubling. Now, I don't deny the benefit of external accountability. Of part of the thing that coaching does is give you somebody to check in with on a weekly basis. Because I meet with my clients once a week for an hour on Zoom every week. So you have accountability. Any tool that's in your toolkit that helps get you to do stuff and makes it easier is a tool worth keeping in your toolbox. But it's not the only tool in your toolkit. I want you to expand your toolkit so in case you don't have a body double, you can still get something accomplished. That's how I coach. I don't want you to become dependent on me. I don't want to coerce you into anything. I don't want you to join a cult. I want you and me to work together, even right here on this thing, and I want to teach you a skill. And then I want you to practice that skill and see how it works. And if it doesn't work at the first hand, this is what we do in one-on-one coaching, is we go back and say, okay, what didn't work? Let's tailor make this tool for you so that at the end of the coaching, whether it's a 10-week package or 20 weeks or 30 weeks or 40 weeks, I've worked with people that long, that you leave our coaching with your own set of customized toolkit, your own customized tools, that you know that when you're stuck and you're not feeling good, that you can go and grab something from your toolkit to help you feel better. Okay? Hope that helps. Okay. Here's the thing. Clara is asking, can a body double be music, or is it different than a double? I love not getting hung up on labels and right or wrong. Body double tends to mean, a body double, somebody there with you. However, if listening to music makes you declutter easy, whatever, that's a good tool in your toolkit. If you call a friend who's struggling with clutter, you've got a neighbor who's struggling with clutter, and you say, hey, you want to experiment this thing? Why don't we both promise that at 11 o'clock tomorrow, we're both going to work on our clutter for an hour. I will call you at 11 and we'll start. Then I'll work on my room, I'll work on my house, you'll work on your house, and then you call me at noontime and we do a check-in. That could be body doubling, So chunking it down, calming down. I like to use down because it's so freaking helpful. Calming down. Yeah, 33 Cupcakes says, I body double with a friend over FaceTime to clean. Yeah. I know when I am on the phone, I used to do this a lot, maybe it's because I was stressed out because I was on the phone with my family. I can more easily just deal with surface clutter, what I would call like tidying up when I'm decluttering, when somebody else is there or somebody is talking to me or I hear words in the background. For me, I need the silence when I'm dealing with stored clutter, because the silence, external silence, helps me listen to me and what I want with what I want to do with my stored clutter. So sometimes certain tools work in certain situations. Pick the right tool for the situation to make it easier for you. That's all that it is. Okay? Every morning I ask her, what are we cleaning today? I love it. Having a buddy, the buddy system. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Oh, funny. Okay, Clara, I love this. So Clara and I were chatting yesterday, and she was telling me about this wreath that she had that she was going to, and here's this, notice this. She had a wreath. She's like, I'm going to take it down, but then something happened, which was a bird had made its nest in this wreath. So then you have this story. Oh, I can't get rid of that. The wreath, the birds. Well, luckily now for Clara, the birds have flown away and got rid of the wreath and wiped off the siding. Notice that things aren't forever. That bird's nest wouldn't be there forever. So many things are temporary. So many things are impermanent. Okay? Yeah. See, my sprinkles of life. Positive talk to yourself changes so much. Yeah, and the word yet. I wish I could remember. I think it was my friend. I got to text him today anyway. So Jesse, I'm going to write down Jesse and yet. If you have good ideas, write them down. Don't keep them up here. You're going to forget them. Okay? Write them down. You're going to get them done. I have a friend who has a tattoo that says yet. So notice the difference. I can't clean without a body double yet. Right now I can't do it, but in the future I may be able to. Okay? Tara Lee is asking, what makes it so hard to get rid of stuff? Here's my take on it. I'm a decluttering life coach, and this is how I coach my people, is we have a hard time getting rid of items because we have a story. Here's the item. I have a hard time getting rid of it because I have attached a story to the thing. It's not just the thing. You look at stuff all the time in the store and it's like, yeah, whatever. You get it home, there's a story attached to it. And the story you have attached to your item is giving you that feeling of clinging onto it. It's saying it's hard to release it. You've told yourself a story making it harder for you to release it. The cool thing is, you attach the story to an existing item. You can remove that story. How would it be? How would I do this? This is the thing. Well, here, let me get a thing. Okay, here's a thing. You've attached a story that's making you feel not so good and you're hanging on to it. You can notice that story and fade it out by replacing it with a better story that makes it easier for you to declutter. Now, these stories are words in your head, words that you type, words that you say out loud, words that never were true, hoping to, helping to, hurt nobody but you. I gotta get up on my, I haven't listened to the Monkees in a while. Notice the stories you tell yourself. In here and in here. I bet they either make you feel good or make you feel not so good. Decrease the amount of stories you tell yourself that make you not feel so good by noticing that and practicing teaching yourself a better story. When you tell yourself a story that feels better, you are going to be more likely to release items because, here, I'll share with you. I seriously, the more I coach, the more I realize that the stuff you're stuck with is stuff you don't want. You don't want it, but you've told yourself a story that it's only the story that is keeping you hanging on to that thing. You change the story, you change the clinging on. The clinging on can become a release. Okay? All right, hope that helps. A friend has cleared out her storage unit and clutter and made $300 on Marketplace. Garage sale Thursday. Rock on. I just did on one of my TikTok lives this week. I shared with somebody, and actually I did a video because I have videos here on my TikTok page. If you haven't followed me, consider following my page. Destination Decluttered. Thank you. How many times my clients have told me they have found money, they have made money from their clutter. Now, sometimes that can be helpful, and sometimes that can just delay you dealing with your stuff because you're like, oh, I'm going to make money on it someday. Okay? Okay, so Meowish has a habit of getting rid of everything for fear of clutter, being afraid of clutter, and then regretting it later. Okay? I just want to offer to you, Meowish, that you have a process. You're here, you want to be here, feeling good about what you have and what you've let go of. You're starting here, but you're doing something that's causing you to not get to where you want to go. So all we do is we change your map. We have you doing different things. So don't get rid of everything because you're afraid of clutter. Get more comfortable with your clutter and say, I get to choose what I keep and what I don't. And if I'm fearful I'm going to need it later, then I say, okay, when am I going to need this later? Okay, I'm going to hang on to it, but I'm going to give myself a timeline. We're going to do fondue by this time next year. It's so funny. I've talked about my fondue pot for a while. Hasn't been a while because we got rid of the Instapot. But you say you're going to use it, then use it. Okay? Notice, Meowish, you have tried to declutter, but it doesn't give you the result you want. There are different ways to declutter that don't get you that way. That's what I coach. Okay? Liberty Lynn is saying the best way to do that? You got to listen to yourself. You got to listen to the voices in your head. You do. If you have them. I think we all do. I know I do. But what I want to say is, think of this. This is how I feel. You really only have two voices in your head. You've got the backseat drivers. Those are the unhelpful voices that chatter all the time and cause you to slow your roll. Don't do that. Do this. Do it my way. Don't do that. That's wrong. It's scary. You're going to fail. All those things are your backseat driver voice. You've got it. I have too. However, when you quiet them down, like little kids in the backseat of the car, shh. You listen to them. You don't engage. You quiet down. I hear you, but quiet, quiet, quiet. All right. Then another voice is quieter, but it's so much more powerful, is your co-pilot. Your co-pilot is the person sitting next to you in the car. You're the driver at all times. The person next to you who's like, where do you want to go? Seriously, I show up like a coach all the time. Where do you want to go? I can help you get there. And you have that voice inside you too. You probably don't know it, or it pops up so infrequently because the negative and the unhelpful voices are just 24/7, yada, yada, yada. It's like fucking, one of those stupid news channels on cable TV in your mind all the time. Think about it. The repetition of things you hear causes you to feel a certain way. So stop the things that make you feel bad and start telling yourself better stories. That's how I do it. What I like to say is stop. When you realize you're going down the wrong road, don't keep on going. It's just going to keep on. You stop. You notice it, you slow down, you pull over, and you stop. So I like to put my little traffic cop hand up there, but I also would suggest putting on the brake. Slowing down, pulling over, putting on the brake, and saying, I don't want to think this way anymore. And then what I love to do when I'm doing my coaching is get a piece of paper, fold it in half. Write down all the crappy things you're saying to yourself. Get them out of you so you can see how you've been talking to yourself. And then walk away from it, shake it off, come back in, and look at each one of those and rewrite them in a more positive way. It's practice. This is what I teach when I'm coaching. Okay? Hope that helps. Yeah, I love this. Queen Victoria is saying, I like your idea of creating a story about the person who will enjoy them. Yes. Please know that there are people out there, the stuff that you don't like, there are people out there who would like it. I know this because I've pretty much, decorated my houses ever since I moved out of my house when I was in my early 20s with stuff that I've thrifted. Not everything's thrifted, but so much of it is. Also because we didn't live near an IKEA. There are people out there who might be delighted to get the stuff that just doesn't do it for you anymore. So when you, instead of thinking of when you remove something from your life that you're losing something, how about this? You're gaining a good feeling. You're helping somebody else that you don't even know. You are gaining space. You are gaining time because you have one less thing to take care of. Okay? I love it. Ms. Seashell says, I have listed my spare bedroom bed and it is disassembled and in the garage. Rock on. That's awesome. And I bet that feels good. I wonder if that feels good. Okay? This is interesting. All the people want to throw away everything. Okay, do it. Do it. You're going to have to buy new stuff, though, because unless you want to walk around naked and not living anywhere. But I get the feeling. I want to throw it all away. Notice the drama in that voice. You know it's coming from the back seat. I want to give it all away. I want to burn my clothes and start over. I want to share with you. You can do that, but the clutter's going to come back because it's not about the stuff. It's about how you think about the stuff. Okay? How do you justify clearing clutter when you don't have the finances to replace it if you end up wanting it? Okay, it's a conversation. The justification, here's the thing I want to be really clear about. Clutter is never the stuff you want. Decluttering does not require you to get rid of things you want or you think you might need. Let me be very clear. I'm going to repeat it. Repetition is good. Clutter is not the stuff you love and want and find useful. Clutter is the stuff you don't want, that you have a story attached to it that's making you afraid to get rid of it. So think of something specific that you have. Look at the things that you have donated away before and you've later come to regret that you donated it because you needed it in the future. Notice those things, and if you think, learn from it. So when you're decluttering, do it a different way. Do it the way I coach. And look at your stuff and say, what is this thing? Do I want it or not? If I want it, where does it go? If I don't want it, where does it go? Lather, rinse, repeat. You've done it a different way, and it's got you feeling crappy about decluttering, so you think decluttering is crappy. Not the way I coach. Okay? How do you justify... Okay, what else do we have? Sorry, that's the Texterson. Okay, what do we got? All right, yep, you're ready to throw out all your clothing, and you want to get rid of everything. I know the overwhelmed feeling. Do this instead. What do they call that? The fancy terms? Regulate your nervous system? Unfancy terms will be calm the F down, but we're going to be nice about this. So what I say is, what I say about this is, calm down your nervous system. Quiet it down. Calm it down, quiet down. When you're thinking about everything and nothing, but if I get rid of everything, I'll have nothing. I always do this. It never works. I've tried it before and I've failed. Drama words. Now, I joke about it because it's true. When you hear yourself talking in dramatic language, that's usually your backseat driver. That means you're a little bit activated nervous system-wise. It's going to be okay. It's just stuff you don't want. Clutter is not the stuff you want. Clutter's the stuff you don't want, but you're afraid to get rid of. Okay? And how about this? Right below these two people saying, I don't want it, Lay and LA64367, wanting to get rid of everything. S. Smith says, I found a consignment store. I sex 25 clothing items a week and miscellaneous, and it has been so freeing each week. How about that? Maybe you could use a consignment store, make some money. Decide on what 25 pieces of clothing you have that you don't want anymore. You still have clothing left. Notice these things. You can choose. It's all a choice. You choose whether to listen to me. You choose whether to hop on my mailing list, destinationdeclutter.com/join. For those of you on the mailing list, let me know if you did not get the big old email that I sent out today, because God, it was, or yesterday, chock-a-block full, no, it was this morning actually, chock-a-block full of really good free stuff. Am I right? Huh? So if you got it, give me a thumbs up. If not, and if you're curious about it, you want to be invited to a free Zoom, you get a recording of a free webinar, workshop that I did. They both begin with W. You get the sneak peek. You know, the people on the mailing list know when I'm going to show up the next time for a TikTok live. Nobody else knows except, and besides me, but the people on the mailing list. If you want to find out when I'm going to show up next, get on the mailing list, destinationdeclutter.com. Mountain Rebel Crafts. Oh, you're moving into a new home today after getting rid of half of what we owned. A bigger house, and it's so spacious. Yes. Learn from the decluttering. Take your time, do it right in the new house, and don't rush yourself to fill your rooms. Take your time unpacking just what you need. You will probably, and I've said this to every single client I know or person on a TikTok live that says they are moving, is they totally fell off the tree right there. I just started thinking about something else. My brain can be two places at the same time, but I'm going to focus. Is when you move, you are only giving a best guess estimate of the stuff you needed in your old house and wanted in your old house that you may want here. I did it. I had a whole basement full of stuff when we moved in here, but that's because I used to sell mid-century modern things, and I closed down my spot when we moved here. So what I want to offer is you will most likely need to declutter once you move into your house. That's part of the process. So you may have bought too much stuff, the stuff you thought you might use. Now you're in your new space. Do I need it or not? Oh, I guess I don't. But you were trying to give a best guess effort, okay? But enjoy the space. Take your time and settle in. Unpack things as you need them. Notice what you don't unpack. Now, you probably won't be unpacking like your December holiday stuff here in May. Can you even believe it's May again? But you know where it is and you could set it aside. Okay? So, here we go. Mamuski, I struggle with old bank statements and bills. How long do I have to hold on to them? Not long at all. Why are you hanging on to them? That's what I'll ask you. Why do you hang on to them? I am Gen X, so I have grown up in the paper world, 100%, and then now we are all in a hybrid. We went from paper to digital, and we're kind of halvesies. Things we used to do back in the day, because all we had was paper to rely on ourselves on, there are different ways to do these things. If I'm holding on to statements and bills, bank statements is to prove that I had that money in the bank. It's a statement, but it's only a statement of a certain day. On a certain day of a certain year, you had a certain amount of money. That is a snapshot. Yep, that's how much money I had in my stuff. It has probably changed since now. Now, I suggest highly that if you are getting bills and statements in the mail, you open them up and you go through them and you make sure that it makes sense to you, because if it doesn't, this can flag something that you need to do about it. But if everything looks okay, unless you are using them for your taxes or something else that I don't know about, get curious why you're saving them. And see if that answer is still valid here May 1st of 2024. You just may be in the habit of it. I know I habitually just save things because I'm used to filing them, but it takes me 2 seconds. At the end of the year, I have like that much paper, and 90% of it goes in a shredding bag. So it's easier for me to keep up with a habit I have and do this thing once a year than to go and change my habits, because I've been doing it for like 20 years. Okay? Amelia Skincare, didn't get this email this morning. The last one I got dated 4/26. Good to know, thank you. So I will say this. First of all, check your spam folders. Do a search for Beth@destinationdecluttered.com as a sender, okay? But then the other thing too is if you search and you cannot find it, definitely drop me an email, Beth@destinationdecluttered.com. Let me know what email address you signed up for the mailing list for, and I can go back and check the files, okay? Oh, that's kind of interesting. So Heather says, how do I utilize AI for help with decluttering? Not to sound all meta, ask AI. AI will tell you how you want to use it. Here's what I say, is AI can't do the decluttering for you. The decluttering for you and for all of us happens up here in our heads and in here in our hearts. AI cannot do that. AI should not be making the decisions for you. Decluttering is a decision-making process. You decide what stuff you want to get rid of, and you decide what stuff you want to keep. And that decision happens in your head and in your heart when these two work together. Right? There we go. Mortgage approval needs bank statements. So if you think you're going to be approved for a mortgage, notice there's different legit reasons to save this stuff. But sometimes when you ask yourself, why am I saving this? The answer is like, I don't know. I guess I've always done it. You know, or I'm afraid to throw them away because somebody's going to steal my stuff, steal my soul, and then I go and shred it. But they only need it for bank statements for a few months. And here's the interesting thing too. Nowadays, I go to this cute little bank. I walk down there, I fill out my things in triplicate, I say hi to Mary behind the thing, I pick up a lollipop. I live in freaking the cutest little town. Even that town is online. If I need however many years worth of statements, I go to the website, I log on, I can download PDFs. Okay? Okay, Cat Mama, here, you know what? Send me your email address, beth@destinationdecluttered.com. I'll send you another copy of it. No big deal. Okay? Yeah, there we go. Goblins.tools can help you break down the tasks and create a list for you. That is a list of tasks, don't get me wrong. And trust me, I want you to use whatever tools are out there to make it easier. But what I will say is at least what coaching does, it helps you learn how to make your decisions and not outsource them to a machine. But also, AI can have you make a list, but if you don't want to do it, you're not going to show up. AI may not be able to help you get off your keister and do the stuff. Okay? Okay, all things can be used to make junk journals. It's so hard to throw away. Okay, Shelly B, I get that. I used to want to be I used to want to be a crafty person. I saw all these upcycled things and I saw the potential. I see the potential where other people don't. I see the potential in so many things, but you know what I learned? You know what I discovered? And I decided was I was not going to be that person to make them. When the time came for me to do it, instead of me running towards the craft stuff, I was kind of dragging my feet. And then I realized, because at a certain point, I just didn't want to do it. So, Shelly B, if you're doing it, rock on. But if you're not doing it, get curious why you're not doing the stuff with the things you have. Okay? Kelsey is loving my glasses. Thank you. I usually have the little black things on them. I was going to yell down the hallway to my husband to have him bring them, but this will just be a clear glasses kind of day. These are the ones from Pear Optical, and these are the Wanda. Now that I've mentioned that, you're going to see them on so many people on TikTok. Okay? Yeah, breaking down the task help for neurodivergent friends. Yes. Okay? Yeah. Bonnie is saying AI needs to hire someone to declutter for me. You know what? Somebody else can clean. Somebody else can't declutter. Somebody else, I am that somebody else for my mother. I can go into her house and I can clean surfaces. I can gather up items that are all in a confusion and I can organize them and I can categorize them. I cannot make the decisions whether she wants it or not. Okay? Only you, I always think I'm going to say only you can prevent forest fires. I feel like Smokey the Bear. Or Smokey Bear, I guess he's not even the bear. Smokey the Bear. You should be making those decisions for you. Nobody else should. What do you want to keep of your stuff? Now, some people were saying they want to throw it all away. Okay, throw it all away and start again. But if you don't change how you think and habitually do things, the clutter is going to come back. Okay? Thank you for the kind words about my haircut and my glasses, people. I appreciate it. Cat Mama says, excited. Junk guy coming Saturday for the rest of the garage and some cellar stuff. Restore taking old washer 2 to 3 weeks. Cat Mama, you have been rocking. Now, I will share with you, Cat Mama and I don't know each other. All I know is what I've read here on TikTok when she shows up for Destination Decluttered TikTok Lives. But using these TikToks that I do as a check-in to motivate yourself. Notice how this feels, that you have somebody else. Using these TikTok Lives as your, what we were talking about, the body doubling. It can help, Yeah, where can you get rid of old textbooks? My library won't take them. Ms. Shishel, this is where I want to suggest that you use the Google because I coach people from all over the country. So somewhere that may take them where I live, that you may not have that. Where can I recycle textbooks in my state? Where can I recycle textbooks in my county? And at a certain point, you may realize that nobody wants your stuff anymore. Things that were important at one point may not be as important, okay? But your resources for removing those things is going to vary between where you live. Clara just says, I love that you just said the Google. I do that because it cracks me up. Because I feel like it's an old person thing. Like, and I am so, my body's getting older, but my spirit is 24 years old. And I just want to suggest that we have a grocery store chain where I live called Acme. but I call it the Acme. I'm going over to the Acme. And then and I almost did it right then, was the people who actually grew up here outside of Philly, they'll call it the Acme. They'll kind of add a little Acme. Not Acme, Acme. I'm going to the Acme. And I love regionalisms, and I have fun when I talk goofy. If it's not fun, why do it? You know, I love it. Clara, I do it too. I say the TikTok and the Facebook, you know. Yeah, there you go. LA 64367 goes, I call my son the Jer, you know. Yeah, the Googles. Oh, even better. See, definitely not a cat. There we go. Doylestown. You know all about the Acme and water ice and going to get a hoagie at the Wawa. Am I right? Yeah. Yeah, Jay. I'm also from Boston, so you're going to hear the Boston accent come through when I'm like, it's a baby whale, Jay. So notice, to get back to the decluttering, this is all kind of neat because I love it, because this reminds you that this is your life. It's My Life, Don't You Forget by Talk Talk. That may add it to the list. It's my life. It's your life. You get to decide what you keep. You get to decide what you don't keep. You get to decide how much stuff you have in your house. Too much, not enough, just right. That level is dependent upon you. And it's dependent upon you and your, basically, your nervous system feeling comfortable. So, yeah, there we go. The only thing I don't want to declutter is my kitties. Yeah, don't declutter your kitties. Yeah, it's a baby whale, Jay. I'm like, what is it? What is it, Jay? I call my husband Jay. His name is not Jay. It's like, hey, Jay, what is it? You know, so Robin is saying, so glad I came across your page. Awesome. I'm glad you are too. Just a couple of things since you may be new here. Again, and it's already 11:42. So I'll be here for another 18 minutes. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach. My coaching is called Destination Decluttered. Now, if you like what you hear on TikTok, I do TikTok lives often. However, so follow my page and I think you'll be notified when I go live. But the two cooler things that I do, I love all of them. One, I have a mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com/join. That's where you get the good stuff first. You want first dibs on all the good stuff that I do? Get on the mailing list. It's free. I don't spam you. I try not to sell anything to you. I do let you know about my one-on-one coaching and when coaching consults are available, because I want the people on the mailing list to have first dibs on those. But you also don't need to be on the mailing list to benefit from anything I do. I do one-on-one coaching too. You can go to my website, destinationdecluttered.com. You can look at the consultation calendar, sign up for a consultation. You and I could start coaching together as soon as next week. Yeah, could happen. Just think. And what I do really clearly is I work in a 10 session package once a week for an hour on Zoom, you and me, just you and me, on the same day and time for 10 weeks in a row. And then sometimes another package and sometimes another package, like many of my clients enjoy the journey. And you can sign up for that on my mailing list too, the website, destinationdecluttered.com. That's paid one-on-one coaching. It's one of the many services I provide. Okay, so Macy Thomas 565s is saying, I just need someone to just throw the stuff away. If you've made a decision that you don't want the stuff anymore, there are people out there who can do it. Cat Mama has got a junk guy coming over. People have called, clients of mine have called 1-800-JUNK. People have called the Purple Heart. There are people out there that can throw away the stuff, but before they throw it away, there's a process here. Before they throw it away, you need to make a decision of, as the Clash would say, should I stay or should I go now? Does this stuff stay or does this go? Once you have decided that you don't want that stuff, once that decision happens, the whole world opens up. Yeah, junk guy. Saw a sign on the side of the road, $99. Yeah, I called a junk guy for my mother because she had all this stuff in her backyard, and we paid him. It was so money worth spent because we never would have gotten around to it. Any electronics recycler, Macy, I will offer the Googles. The Googles are going to be your friend. I have Googled things myself for where I live, the county I live in, the state I live in, the town I live in. Try that and see what comes up in your area. Okay? Yard clutter. I keep adding, wanting to decorate the yard. I can't seem to do it. All right, notice why you're adding to the stuff, but you're not doing the decorating. Is it a bit of perfectionism? Is it I don't have time? Are you scared to do it wrong? So many answers could apply. Get curious why you're not doing the thing you know up here you want to do. You say you want to do it, Why aren't you doing it? Answer that question for yourself. Write it down. Put it in the comments. I can help you with it. Okay? There we go. Alice is saying, buy nothing groups and post your stuff at the end of the driveway, then folks can come and look. I do that. Right out here, out this window that you don't even know exists, but I know it's right out here. A big free sign, putting stuff out there. We've done that for years. The cool thing is we've done it for years, so we have very little to ever put out there, but we keep the free sign just in case. Your ADHD. Okay. Well, I want everybody to think not of any kind of diagnosis, whether it's self-diagnosed or officially. I don't want you to think that's a limiter. I want you to think of that as information so that you know that your brain works a certain way and start to design your life to work with your brain as opposed to against it. Don't use it as an excuse. I have ADHD in my family. I have full-blown ADHD that is diagnosed and treated, undiagnosed and treated, mental health issues, all sorts of things. I have not been diagnosed, but I kind of almost like, well, I'm half Irish and I'm half this. I feel like I have a quarter of ADHD. I've also grown up in that environment. And what I want to say is, now you know more about yourself. Learn from that and set up your home, set up your life, set up your thinking to make it easier for you to do the things you want to do. Don't take it as, I got ADHD, little dramatic talk, can't do it. Use that as a starting point, not an ending point. Okay? Okay, yeah, it's hard when there's no place to put the stuff. Yeah, you know why you don't have a place to put the stuff? It's because you have too much clutter. So notice how it's a cyclical thing. You could, I bet all of us today, myself included, if I said, okay, I'm going to put together a bag of stuff that I don't need, and I'm going to get it out of my house today, and I'm going to check in tomorrow when I do a TikTok Live, if I do a TikTok Live. Am I doing a TikTok Live? I might. The people on the mailing list know, and I know. I'm being kind of goofy, I know. But seriously, get on the mailing list, and I'll tell you whether you'll know the TikTok Live days and times from now until May 15th. If I said that, I bet all of us could get a bag and fill it and donate it somewhere. So, yeah, you're right. When there is no place to put stuff, it makes it hard. But so, find a place, make a place. You make space by removing items and remove the items you don't want. Okay? Heather is saying, any suggestions for tackling perfectionism while tackling the decluttering? First of all, I always crack up that people use the word tackle and purge and all these dramatic words. How about this? Noticing. Notice when you start to think of things in a perfectionist kind of way. The sneaky ways you can hear that in your own voice and in your own head is because of the way it's saying, don't do it now, do it later. You can't start until you do it all. Don't start because it's not going to be right. A lot of that perfectionism is going to be all or nothing thinking. Find when you're doing all or nothing thinking. I can't do it now because I don't have enough time. And maybe you don't have enough time. I don't know. But what I want to say is, do you really have not enough time, or you're trying to do it all in one fell swoop? So notice when you're doing it and then realize to just chunk it down. Take things smaller. Don't do all or nothing. Do some. As somebody once said, which I thought was pretty damn cool on one of my TikTok lives, all or nothing thinking gives you little all in a whole bunch of nothing. So there we go. Lab is putting the free mowers out. Free. Wonder it. Okay, Lee is saying, I want to get rid of my king sub top of the line mattress. I want a smaller bed. Holy Moses, I'm sure if you put that out there free, somebody would love it. Oops, whole bunch of things here just spooked. I'm going to back up here. I love the advice to get curious. We get stuck because we don't think things through. Yeah, 100%. And not get judgy. Do not judge yourself. When you feel a judgy kind ofness in your voice, stop, hammer time, stop and re-listen and say it in a kinder, more curious and non-judgmental tone. Should I toss my Mentress because I didn't want to sell it? If you don't want to sell it, here's the thing. Now, I will say we had to dispose of some mattresses where we were, and I really did not want to put it in a landfill. Now, finding a place for a used mattress can be incredibly difficult. There may be some shelters near you that take them. They may not. This, again, is the Googles. Where can I get rid of a mattress where I'm located? Okay? Find out what works for you. It took us a while to do it, but I'm used to doing this kind of stuff, so I was tenacious about it, and we found a place, and we donated it, and I felt good because it was helping somebody who wasn't sleeping on any mattress, sleep on a mattress. Okay? Foxy Swifty over 50 is saying, this has been so helpful. You are so motivating. Thank you. But you know what? The proof in the pudding, do you have proof? Do you have pudding? Is really going to be once you're not in this little bubble that we've created, but when this bubble pops in about 10 minutes, and then you look around your house, what are you going to do differently today about your clutter simply because you heard me talk about it in a different way? I only feel like I only do half my job. I'm not doing my job well if you are not motivated enough to then take action. Now, the cool thing is right now, me doing a TikTok live is not my job. My job is actually something I paid for, which is the one-on-one coaching. I need to get a little bit more specific. But even right now with the tools I've just given you, the calming down of the nervous system, the chunking down, the writing down, the feeling differently, talking to yourself kindly, or what could you do today different from what you did yesterday with regards to your clutter? Okay. Elizabeth Shaw is saying, oh my God, people. All right. I forgot to turn on my do not disturb. And so I'm just so popular. I've got all these texts and I just want to concentrate on you guys. I will get to the texts in a minute. Okay. We've got 9 minutes. Elizabeth Shaw, 33. My friend's husband passed away in November and struggling. She's having a yard sale. I'm donating all. Wonderful. I love that you're helping your friend with stuff. Okay. And yes, struggling with sentimental clutter because of loss can be tough. So I love that your friend is doing something about it. So Anastasia says, a vision for the yard, but my brain is stuck. I bet it's not your brain. I bet it's your nervous system. Yeah, your nervous system is stopping your body from moving. You're stuck. When you're stuck, your body's not moving. Your brain is saying yes, but your body is saying no, and your body is controlled by this. Should I stay or should I go now? Get curious why you are stuck. When you say, why am I stuck? Why am I not starting? Listen to yourself and whatever comes up. And notice I say comes up because it starts here. Whatever comes up, write it down. See what's keeping you stuck, and then you can problem solve from there. Okay. Oh, okay, good. Well, hey, here's the good thing. I think my husband is finding a plumber, which is good because I didn't feel like doing it. My sprinkles of life. Being the default parent and responsible for everything. Hubby won't take initiative, makes it hard. Okay. I am not a couples, I'm not a relationship therapist, but this is how I coach. I think it is totally inappropriate for one person to carry most of the load in any kind of relationship, be it parents and kids, be it, partners, being, I keep on wanting to say siblings. That's not it. Like your mate, your husband and wife, you shouldn't be doing all, and if he won't take initiative. But here's the funny thing I just want to point out to you. Sorry, I keep on getting distracted by those things. When people don't take the initiative, it's because somebody else is doing it for them. If they sit around on their butts long enough and you do it for them, why would they change? It's a waiting game. It's like a staring game. Who's going to win? Who's going to wait? But if you change that dynamic, now again, I'm not a relationship therapist, but the dynamic should be, the way I coach and the way I look at the world is, people should be responsible for their own stuff. It is a life skill to take care of your own house and not rely on somebody else to do it. It is a life skill for kids to know where their stuff is, to go find it, to play with it, and put it away. To say, okay, I used to play with this, but I don't anymore, and to be okay removing it. That's how you get responsible, good adults in the world, is by learning how to take care of your own shit. Now, trust me, I'm also lazy. I get that. So when my husband says, hey, you want me to make you an egg? Of course I'm going to say yes. But I don't expect him to do it. It just is a nice little interplay. So just notice the dynamic. And if it's hard for you, I want to be there for you because I'm your coach and not his. And I would stand up. I would encourage you to say, this is how it used to be, but I want to change things now. Now, again, not a relationship coach, but notice the power imbalance. And notice this power imbalance doesn't feel good to you. So if it's not feeling good to you, it's time to change it. Or that's an indicator that change is something that might want to happen. Okay. Little steps count as a win. I love it. Mattress removal from mom, junk guys, they get charged. Okay. My husband cleaned out his closet and threw away clothes he didn't want. I scolded him, but he's right. Well, you know what? Be celebrating that he did it. I mean, you could have donated it. He could have donated it. It's to throw them away. But at a certain point, what are you going to do? Okay, there we go. Moki is going through a bag of mail and trashing it. Love it. Okay, my big block is thinking about the money I spent on the stuff and the dollar I could make, yet selling, but don't. Okay, Jessica, why aren't you selling it then? Notice that's a question I'm asking you, but I'm not asking you. I'm asking your nervous system. And I want you to get quiet, listen to your nervous system, and whatever comes up, write it down. Why are you not doing it? So many people hang on to stuff that because I paid a lot of money for it. Yeah, the time to think about the money you are going to lose about your stuff is when you're spending the money. When you spend the money, that's when you should be thinking, what if this doesn't work out? Can I return it? What if this doesn't work out? Am I going to be okay with making this investment in this item if it doesn't work out? So just get curious. Notice there is a thought that's stopping you. You have a thought that says, I can't get rid of that because I paid money for it. And your temporary solution to that is, oh, I'll sell it. But there's something about the selling that is making you not do it. What is it about the selling? I know myself. I used to be in the selling biz. I sold things on eBay when eBay was brand new because I was a collector. And so then eBay came and I made a lot of money on eBay. And then what I found was I didn't like all the steps it took to get what little money I have. People started being more pains in the butt and it just was not fun for him anymore. So I did something different. I stopped that and I started donating things. I got used to the fact that I wasn't going to make my money back. Excuse me. And I started donating things. Changing your mind, changing your habits. Oh, I have a tickle in my throat. Okay, so I love this. 33 Cupcake says, ooh, it's all bitter now. I donated extra office supplies to our elementary school. Folders, binders, page protectors, pencils. Love it. Donate things to where you think. Ask some places that you think might need the stuff you want and donate it. Excuse me. All right, I'm going to back up a little bit. We got about 3 minutes here. And I love this. Miss Seashell says, your lives have helped me. I did the bed and the books last week. Next is clothes. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, consignment. That's great. Room by room, week by week. Every little bit helps. Chunk it down. Chunk it down to a room. Chunk it down for a week. Do it at a pace that feels right to you. Yeah. Do it at a pace that feels good to you. This is your road trip, okay? You're here with your clutter. You want to be here without as much clutter and with more stuff you just like as opposed to being surrounded by the crap you don't want. This is your road trip. I'm just your co-pilot. I cannot put my foot on the gas or the brake or steer it or make the decisions. But I am here to support you, and I've got the map. I can teach you skills. So while we're together, I teach you how to do this. And then if I've done my job correctly, kind of like a driver's ed teacher, I get out of the car and you practice these skills for the rest of your life. And these skills get you to your destination decluttered. So this stuff is all good. Yeah, Moki is saying, I always feel motivated during your lives. How can you capture that motivation and use that fuel in the hours that I'm not on doing a live? If you only get motivated when I'm here, I haven't done a good job. What I want you to think of is all I do really is I come here and I talk in a can-do, positive, encouraging, gentle, easygoing, non-judgmental, full of love, possibility, you can do it tone. And I give you skills. Talk to yourself the way I talk to you. Stop the person who's complaining and bitchy and judgment. You're going to be used to, they're going to be like, hey, wait a minute, this is how I always talk to myself. Get used to that and stop it. Every time you do it, stop it. Redirect your traffic. Stop, I'm going to say something nice. Stop being mean, start being nice. Stop being mean to myself, start being nice to myself. Okay? That's how it happens. I know I can do it thanks to your encouragement. You know what? I want you to prove it to me, but more so, prove it to yourself. Do the things. Talk to yourself nicely. Sign up for the mailing list. Become a client. Do the decluttering yourself. There's so many ways. But notice where you stop. Notice where you stop. And speaking of, okay, yep, the 2 and 2, the car and the heart above the shelf area. That's what it's all about. Speaking of stopping, I'm stopping now. Okay, yeah, what would Beth say to me? I'd say, you got this, you can do it. I know you can do this because it's not as difficult as you think it is. It is only stuff. And it is only a story. Some words in your head are stopping you from living the life you want. Change the words in your head, change your life. It can be that simple. It can be that simple. Now it's noontime. I have stuff to do today. I know you do too. We'll have things you'll want to talk about. I will too. I feel like a little bit of a neighbor type thing, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I will see you the next time I do a TikTok Live. If you want to know when I'm doing the next ones, I know I'm being kind of teasily for this, hop onto the Destination Decluttered mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com/join. See, a bunch of you have already done that. I will send the email that I sent to the other folks to this one. And TikTok is already telling me I should get off of this live, so I have verified it, and I'm going to sign off now, okay? I will see you the next time I do a TikTok Live. I'll see you on the mailing list. Maybe I'll see you signing up for a consultation for one-on-one coaching. You, me, let's do it. All right?